Good evening and welcome to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague live here from the DreamHack Monster Energy Studios. And we have two series for you tonight for league play. Let's take a look at which teams we have. In our first series, it is NIP that will try to turn their luck around this patch against Virtus Pro. Both of these teams have only played one series so far, I believe, and well, it's time this weekend and this week to get some extra wins in. Our second series is going to be Vega Squadron taking on Burning United. Burning United 2-0 so far, so doing well, but they are looking to keep their stroke going up against Vega, who definitely need some wins themselves, by the way, because this is one of their teams that they can't really afford a loss to. And we have, of course, also got three lovely people on the couch. It is Andy, Owen, and Shane, and I felt like I hadn't said that in a while, so...
No, you haven't. It's been a week.
It's been a week.
It was a really good week, though.
It was.
We came, 513th?
Yes. No,
Oh,
Shane.
sorry.
We came second.
Oh, yeah, we came second in the well, I was going to say 513th in TI5, which sounds a little bit more impressive than second in the qualifier.
Yeah, but even if you would have said 513th at TI5, that's probably not correct.
Well, technically not, no. But, like...
It's really not
we
correct.
Came second.
We came second, that's way more correct, yeah. We played against Yellow Submarine in our very first game. And they...
Out of all the 1,000 teams that were there. So we go for the open qualifiers.
Yeah, we were actually super hyped as well.
Yep.
We were really excited. It's like, oh my God, this is really fun.
We brought our computers.
Yeah, we brought them all over to Andy's house.
Yep.
And we get into the lobby and we see like Barash, like Miposhka, all the guys, and we're just like,
Dale.
oh God.
Hey, we know these guys.
Yeah,
Like, shit.
We
Okay,
lost.
we lost. Well, we still didn't do that bad. I might have died
you
first.
guys didn't kill a tower.
We did not kill it.
I killed their courier.
Okay, Shane killed the courier, but you didn't kill a tower. I wasn't in the game, by the way.
Otherwise, we would have won. Obviously.
maybe.
Obviously. And we would have won TI, Andy.
Yes. And you just got,
I think Andy owes us a lot of
you
money.
just called us
15
millions.
Do I just owe all of you like $1 million a piece
Way
now? Is that
more,
how
like,
that works?
Like 3 million.
Way more.
No,
I'll send
no,
that
no,
over
Oh, you
if
don't get that
wanna
much for
it.
winning
No,
TI.
you get like winning TI probably you get something like 7 million or so. In like 14.
Okay, yeah. Well, we don't know yet.
If
We
it
don't know.
was a
We don't know
15
yet.
million prize pool, yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
Could be 20
Do you reckon
million.
it's going to be more this year? A lot more?
Yeah, judging by the graphs.
I'm actually
like,
thinking about 13.
Really?
Well, if you look at it at the TI prize pool right now, it's about 1.5 million higher than it was last year after the same amount of days.
Yeah.
So if the trend continues,
It's also to
it
do
all
with the
depends on-
items, though.
Yeah, it also depends
It
on the
really
immortals.
does. Like, when they get the items out, I think it'll go up again. And then the third wave...
Yeah, but that happened last time as well.
Yeah. Were the items out by this stage, though?
No.
No, it was quite. There was someone actually posted where they'd shown last year's, and there was a correlation with when it first came out and when the items came out. And
Yeah.
if it's going to be the same as that, it would be 2 days from now. If Valve are following, a set marketing plan, which a lot of people are assuming, the fact that they're like, oh, we're just going to polish them is kind of more, we want to kind of stagger the rewards,
Yeah,
you know what I
okay.
mean?
So
So,
people-
you guys reached out and stretch goal really quickly, but we don't actually want to give it to you yet. So if things are to be believed from last year's progress, maybe in a
Yes.
couple of days, if it's the same.
And that's all on Cyborg Matt's prize pool tracker, by the way. If people want to check out what Owen said, it's actually really fun to see, like how much we differ from last year. And I mean, right now we're about the same growth every day still.
Yeah, when TI4 was so big, I was actually super worried because like it's the poker. What was the name of that poker tournament? They had like increasing prize pool every year,
Yeah.
and it was like 10 million or something like that. And
Oh.
then all of a sudden, the next year was way lower, and everyone was like, "It's kind of dead." Do you know what I mean? Like just because the price.
Because it was lower.
Yeah, so it's a lot of pressure to put on yourself when the prize is so big.
Yeah, because if it's not bigger, it's worse.
Yeah,
and if it's
exactly.
worse, that means that you're dead game.
Yeah.
It's not
It is,
that game.
it is a hard thing, but I think it will be big.
Yeah, I think
I'll be
so too.
very surprised if it's not, because as you said, it'll be like the second biggest Dota 2 prize pool ever. It's like, oh, so last year was better than this, or there's no point watching.
I mean, it's still a ton of money.
It is.
Either way.
It is a lot of money.
Like, no matter
It's
what,
a
it's
crazy
still the
amount.
biggest prize pool of any game.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it doesn't reach 11 million, it's still going to be at
But
least
it will.
8.5
It will.
right now.
It will.
Right? I mean, yeah, of course. I mean,
It will.
it's going to be huge. But I'm just saying, even if the teams who are playing in it don't get the biggest prize pool ever of Dota 2, the amount of money that's already in it still is like ridiculous. So
Still bigger than any other esports title at the moment, dare I say.
Yeah, the overall money that's been given out for the game is definitely the biggest.
I think League of Legends would be second, but they spread it out more. So
Is
it's
it
like,
over the year, like different tournaments?
Yeah, they have one. They have also got like this one big thing going on. Like I think it's called Worlds, and I
Yeah.
think the prize pool of that last year was 5 million. but I'm not 100% sure. I believe
it's
it was
not
about
bad,
5.
like, but it's
Yeah,
not.
but
It's no TI.
I mean,
know
you
what
have to put yourself through playing that game, so
Yeah.
it's,
But
they're
like,
going to have to pay me a lot more.
Let's consider that like 5 years ago, before like Dota 2 was even like a thing, or maybe it was like closer to 6 now, I guess. But the prize pools were minuscule in comparison
Yep.
to what they are now.
Like a
So-
few €1,000 for like
Yeah.
the big ones, you know what I mean? Like, and that was like at the
Well,
time.
there was like I think 50 grand was like the biggest
Yeah.
ever.
I remember like going to LANs in like the UK and around Europe and stuff, and basically like everyone would sleep in a sleeping bag, even like the pro players,
Yeah.
and like they'd all get a lift from their mother, and now like everyone gets their flights paid for. Everything's like so good for like compared to.
Even in Dota, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the defense was like the biggest tournament for a while, and it had like 20,000 euros prize pool, which was really big at the
Yeah.
time. But if you think of that now, I don't think even teams would get out of bed for that. Well, probably they would.
I'd get out of bed for that, to be honest.
Some of the teams might not,
Yeah.
though, with all the money going around. But yeah, a lot of Dota this weekend. Watched Dota as well, casted Dota as well. Yellow Submarines. They weren't able to make it to league play for us, but they were able to make it to TI qualifiers, which is going to be really exciting. It was kind of fun to see a team that we've already seen so much of before as
Yeah,
well.
it's true.
But we have had a lot of games last week as well. I say a lot of games. We didn't actually have that many games. We only had like 4 because last time you saw us was last week Tuesday because we had a very short week. Last week Tuesday we had 2 Alliance series. They were Alliance versus NIP and Alliance versus Birdie United. And we actually have got a recap for you for those series.
Oh, and by the time you got it, you've lost the second set of melee racks. And why didn't he have a TP wagger?
I mean, that's just a bad mistake.
Oh, look at this cooldown onto 4. I think they're all dying here. There's 2, 3, 4 down. Got everyone apart from Bulldog up.
Yes,
Can they look to
cooldown.
fight this? Going in with the Spirit Lance, but come with me. Oh, there's your Echo Slam onto Loader. He might go down here. He will go down here. GG is calling.
Nice play, Perry.
Oh.
This is...
Hex up onto Bycat with the Maledict the Death. There's going to be Bulldog there cancelling the
They can
channeling.
take
Throws
this
down the
fight,
Echo
though.
Slam onto Chen and to Witch Doctor, but it doesn't matter. Pycat's dead. Bulldog's going to go dead as well. Yonesam slides himself in. There's the Gush to finish off. It's a double kill here for your Titan Hunter. Can Loader clean this up? No. Cooldown coming onto his head. Loader is going to go down. Ake will fall here as well. His 4 members down on the side of Alliance. Bulldog and Pycat, they're ripping apart the side of NIP. There's no Echo Slam.
it's
Limb
crumbling
getting
now.
nuked down. It's all crumbling. There'll be a buyback from the Earthshaker. Hansken now with the disruption on to Pycat. And but there's already a double kill for Bulldog. There's going to be a buyback from your Earthshaker and your AA trying to come back into this one. Mad at the front of the fight. Trying to go onto Hansken. Limp. He's giving him the punches. Will actually be able to bring him down. It's a triple kill though for Bulldog. I mean, they do have Quat back up at 25, but Shadow Demon is
It's
dead.
way too late.
GG. Well played.
Yeah, and those were our series last week. And with that, we can take also a look at the standings because this is our last week of league play and the standings are going to shape up to what we will see them be. Because the top 6 are going to be going to DreamHack Summer and the bottom 2 will drop off. Now, still a lot is possible, but for example, Alliance,
Yes.
they've played all their games.
Yeah, and like if you take a look at basically Unknown, even though they are 1-7, if they win the rest of their games, they're pretty close to Alliance's standings. Like there's not actually that much in it.
True. At this point in league play, I would also say like look more at losses than at wins.
Yeah.
Because there's like a max amount of losses that you can have.
Doesn't
And
it depend on
Alliance-
the other team's losses as well?
It does as well, but
Yeah.
so far you can see, like, for example, basically Unknown has 7 losses, aka from this point out, they have to win every single game,
Yeah.
even if they want to have a chance. And even if everybody, like, even Alliance right now, they lost 6 of their matches, or of their games. They could still fall down.
It has a lot
to
to
the
do with
bottom.
Empire as well. Like, so say Empire win all their games in the future and they only lose 1.
Yeah.
That makes it a lot harder for basically Unknown to...
To actually win all
Yeah,
their games because
exactly.
they still have to face each other, I believe,
Yeah.
as well. Alliance had their last series, by the way, last Saturday. Owen, you casted that.
It was an interesting series as well. It did, of course, end up being 1-1.
Yeah.
With the first game being very balanced between the sides, and then the second game, I'd say a little bit of a drafting miscalculation from the side of Empire, but it was quite a big one.
Yeah, they gave away like their Slardar,
Yeah.
Nature's Prophet,
Yeah.
Dazzle on Ake. Like it was, like if you look at Alliance's drafts when they win, like it's actually kind of always similar to that.
It was, yeah, it was one of those games where at the start I wanted to say Alliance have won, But obviously, I didn't want people to go, oh, this guy's an idiot, oh, you're saying Alliance won just from the draft. You know, I'm not in a position to say that, but at the end, I was like, I don't want to say it was the draft that lost them the game. I think it was the draft that lost that game. It was an interesting move from Empire. I mean, obviously, they're a very strong team. Maybe they thought, we can deal with this.
We can counter the Furion.
Yeah, but no.
But no, next game.
Not at all.
Nobody can counter the Fury.
Nobody can counter
There was no
the
next
Furion.
game because Empire would, I don't know, dead.
They were
Because
dead.
after it was a 15-minute GG. They're probably like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, it was very, very early.
That would wipe you out, yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't have to take their word for it in terms of how the games went, because we also have a recap for that series.
And also something that they might not be aware of when they look to fight here. Mad, he's going to fight on it. There's disruption. They're going to jump up first. Bulldog here with a hook shot onto Yoku's, keeping him out of the fight. And Loda just going straight in with the BKB. Tombstone has been dropped. Loda looking for the crits, trying to go to silent. Crimson Guard and Mech being popped. And now they're trying to turn it around the side of Empire. There's Yahao onto Loda. He's doing nothing. They've lost the Shadow Demon. Loda's getting low. Yoku pops the Ghost Scepter, but the crits onto Resolution, keeping Loda high in terms of lifesteal. There's a 2-for-1 trade so far. And now the passage onto Resolution. He'll still be able to get off the orb. It's a double kill here for the puck. And now on Pycat trying to find something return. A low hot dots will go down. And now Pycat. Oh, pinch out. Gets a dagger on to always want to fly, but he could be in trouble as well. But Alliance, they're just throwing away a team wipe. 5 heroes down. They only got 2 off the side of Empire. They did find the Nightmare onto Yoku, and this is big. If they can kill the Axe, they're getting Loda in close and personal. With the crush and the Amplify, Yoku, he's just going to get blown up. He goes down. It's an unstoppable kill streak now for Loda. And now, with the Amplify and Resolution and the Sprout holding him in place, he hasn't got a blink for a few seconds. Will pop out the screen, but he's going to go down as well. Power shot doing work on his Dazzle. And they're snowballing. Is this really what they want to do? Can they kill Ake? He's got a Shallow Grave and he's got a heal as well. He's also got a Weave. He's not going to be able to get the Shallow Grave. Yes, he is! Oh, he gets punched up his head, but he still gets the Shallow Grave off. Now trying to turn it. Loda trying to get himself in, but hasn't got the mana here for the crush. Oh, yes, he has been blinked forward. Put the stick charges. That's 1 kill. That's 2 kill. Mega kill streak here for Bulldog.
Yeah, that was Alliance's last game in the league play, and quite a dominant performance as well against Empire, who I think for most people were the favorites to end up on top. I think actually still for me the favorites to end up on top, even with Alliance already playing their last game. That was basically the only loss Empire took, right?
Yeah, and then even in game 1 though, we saw like Resolution on his puck. I think he had like 24 kills at the end of the
his
game.
puck was ridiculous.
That's his, like we've seen him in the past, Andy playing that hero, and he is a monster on it. Like.
Yeah, I think Resolution's probably one of just the best mids, like period, like out of anyone.
Magnus, puck, Invoker.
Yeah, he plays everything.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is like a lot of players who play mid have a not small hero pool, but they're known for like 3 or 4 heroes, maybe max. But when Resolution plays anything, it's like you're expecting a high level of play out of it. And it's interesting too because that team, like Empire, they're 7-1, and Alliance are 8-6. And Alliance actually started out almost tied with Empire in score. Like they had won almost every single game, and then they lost almost every single game.
I think they like the downside for Alliance. They had like one day where they had 2 series. And they just lost 3 of their 4 games that they had. They must have had a bad game there, bad day there or something. Was the day after Matt's birthday?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we attributed it to. We're like, mad.
They might have went a bit.
I mean,
But
mad.
they won on
He
his
must have gone
birthday.
out.
They did. They did.
Yeah, and then after his birthday, they lost everything.
Apart from
Apart from
the
one game.
Naga
Apart
game.
from one
The Naga game.
when
Yeah,
they've
okay.
recovered enough, maybe.
Maybe. Also, of course, I mean, Empire vs. Alliance, that series was, of course, scheduled to happen earlier already, but because a bug happened at that point, which was quite unfortunate timing as well. They were in the middle of a match, and Alliance was actually on the winning side, and then they were losing because of the bug, and we had loads of delays, but that's why it got rescheduled, and that's why we weren't able to cast it from the studio, because it happened last Saturday, because Alliance is actually in China right now, which is why we already have all their games behind us as well, because, well, they want it to be in China. You can't really play games from China. Well, you can, but lag issues.
Yeah, you can technically, but
Yeah.
it might be a bit difficult to win.
It would be tricky. 300 ping.
More like
Can
500,
they even play
600.
anything other than Perfect World servers?
Yeah, you
Yes, you can.
You can.
You can
Okay.
try.
Because I was going to say, wouldn't it be like 300 plus ping easy?
Yeah.
You can play on a VPN.
Way more than 300, like 600.
Is it actually more than? Oh, really? Holy.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
okay.
300 is like Australian ping, I guess. And then
And that's like impossible to play on nearly.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
I whine on 150 now. I used to play on 150 fine because I played USC Steven when I was here because 150 has seemed manageable. And then I was really used to like 30 ping. And now 150 feels like I'm just like sticking napalm the whole game. It's awful.
Because when you click, you don't actually turn as quick.
Yeah.
Now, two of the teams we haven't seen more than one series yet, and those are two teams that we're going to see first today, and it's going to be Ninjas in Pyjamas versus Virtus Pro. What are we expecting here? Because for me, I mean, Ninjas in Pyjamas, the only game they won on this patch was the 1-1 against Alliance.
Yeah, they haven't really been playing that great. And also, they played about 6 days ago in the joint Dota League, and Virtus Pro took it 2-0, and pretty convincingly as well. So there wasn't really much in the game at all. They picked Winter Wyvern in both games.
Okay.
And
Nip did, or?
no, Virtus Pro did.
Oh,
And,
they won with Winter
yeah,
Wyvern.
they did. And FNG played it amazingly. It was actually probably the best display of Winter Wyvern I've seen. Like, he was constantly using the Winter's Curse on like 2 or 3 people. It was really nice. It's like
Yeah, I want to see more of that hero because they did just change her ultimate as well.
Yeah, but
Like a
they
patch or
kind
two
of
ago.
nerfed it slightly.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, yeah, sure, that you do less damage to your teammates, but it did increase the duration. So it's like a ranged RP nearly.
The crowd control is better, I think, than the damage.
Yeah,
Like that's the thing. Is
probably.
like it's like Shane said. If you get a good berserker's call or whatever, or you get a good RP, it's like the disable is what matters, not necessarily the hero dying instantly. So yeah, I think it's still really strong. So I'm curious to see if they're going to be running it today.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about the team sheet right now for Virtus Pro? We've talked about to Illidan about the Slark. I believe this is all stats for 6.83.
Well,
Yeah.
DK Phobos played Bounty Hunter quite a lot, and he was like top of the net worth in one of the games against Nip. He was destroying people. They're just so aggressive in their playstyle.
New
When-
bounty is ridiculous.
Exactly, and when you pick up Bounty with an aggressive playstyle as well, even if you come out even in teamfights, you're always winning.
Yeah, I think the bigger thing too is before Shuriken was one of like the worst scaling abilities to get.
There was like 2 levels, and then the third one was kind
It
of
went like 50 to 100 damage,
Yeah.
and then to 200. But now it's 150 to 225 at level 2, which means you can always put 2 points into Shuriken, 2 points into Shadow Walk, and you don't have to level Janata past 1, which means that you're like, that's why I think FY started buying Arcane Boots as well, because you want to be outside of the base, like the
Yeah.
longer period of time that you can. But I mean, the track gold that you get, they did just nerf early game kill gold in the 6.84 C patch.
Yeah, yesterday.
But if you have tracks still, like the amount of money that you get from it and just being able to be a nuisance in the early game, I think people kind of forgot what that was like, because there was some patches ago where people were running Bounty Hunter a lot and they were just running around and causing havoc to like Chens or Enchantresses and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the hero is going to be picked a lot more, or even banned in some games.
Well, we have just had the summit, which
Yes.
also kind of like it's one of those LAN tournaments that has an impact on the meta, on what teams pick. And none of the teams that we're going to see today were actually present at the summit, but everybody would have watched it and would have seen the developments made. What do you think is the biggest impact of the summit for today that we're going to see? Anything that we're going to notice? Are we going to see a lot of bristlebacks, for example?
I honestly think it's to do with Bounty Hunter and like Chen and Enchantress, them kind of heroes. Because Witch Doctor as well, like a lot of the teams in the summit were pushing very, very early.
Yes.
And they have like these sustained kind of pushing, like so.
Yeah, they have
Witch Doctor,
any healing hero.
Yeah, even Urn. Like Urn was a huge pickup in the summit because
Yeah.
the games were over. Some of them in like 17 minutes.
Yeah, it
because
was
it was just
insanely
constant
fast.
aggression.
I
And-
think the last game was a 17-minute one, wasn't it? The final match.
Exactly. Yeah. It was kind of insane. So sustained pushing and the kind of winning all the lanes seemed to be the thing. If you win all 3 of your lanes, you just win the game in 15 minutes. That's what it looked like for me, anyway. Especially with like supports, like I think the change actually affects this quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like there'd be some supports that'd be like level 1 or 2, and then they'd go and roam to mid and get a kill, and all of a sudden you're like level 5. You know, that change is actually very big for that. So there's more focus on the supports farming rather than actually just roaming and ganking.
Yeah, it's maybe less valuable. I mean, how big of an impact do you feel like this patch will have? I mean,
I think
obviously,
it's actually like a semi-nerf to Chen. Like
Yeah.
it can be good and it can be bad. Like the later game Chen is worse, the earlier game Chen is better, which means that snowballing could potentially be worse. But at the same time, if the Chen creeps don't have as much HP as they did before when they're pushing down a lane,
Yeah.
there's easier methods to be able to deep push and keep your towers alive instead of just, oh, we lose a hero, now all of a sudden we lose 2 towers. So I think there's like positives and negatives to it. I still think Chen's going to be highly prioritized, and I still think Enchantress will be as well. Depends on the draft, I guess. But I think the most important thing is to try to stop it from being a TI4 repeat in the patch. Like, don't
Yeah.
let teams be able to win the game at like 18 minutes in. Now, sure, if you lose all 3 lanes, then yeah, you should lose the game very quickly. But it shouldn't happen often.
by default. Yeah.
Right. It should not happen more than like once or twice in maybe an entire tournament. And I think at the summit actually happened a lot.
Yeah. It was mostly 2-0s. I think there were only 2 series that didn't go to a 2-0. What do you want to? What are you doing?
I was just blowing kisses. at
Yeah, we
Shane.
were just blowing kisses at each other.
No, but on the topic that I wanted to say, the change to the AoE gold. I think, as you were both saying, the fact that now you can still go for that death ball kind of push, but it's a lot riskier. Because even if you're finding kills, because they're worth less in terms of AoE bonus gold, so the supports that are going to be helping you commit to the ganks and the rotations, if you don't find that perfect momentum and perfect push, which is still going to be capable, but it's a very risky thing to do now. Because if you're pushing and say you get a kill, but at the same time the supports on the other side, they're farming, they're making the pools, they're fighting a lot more across the map. As the game goes on, it's going to be much more even than it was in the past patch. The past semi-patch in the sense. So I like that change. I also like the changes, the nerfs to heroes like Gyrocopter. Yeah. Because we're pretty much seeing him every game. He was almost becoming the new sniper. It was kind of like, okay, Gyro's here again. He's going to be roaming around the lanes, killing people, being very annoying with the rocket barrage. Yeah. Now that the damage has been scaled down a little bit, I think it's going to be in a bit of a nicer place. I think teams might not jump straight towards the Gyro pick. It was also interesting to see the change to Io, which arguably was a hero that doesn't normally get tinkered with that much in the patches.
It wasn't really a big change, though.
No, it was just
like
this
a 1%
scaling movement speed
difference.
13, 14, 14,
it's
15,
almost
16, 17
unnoticeable,
instead
I
of
would
just
say.
17 straight.
Exactly, yeah.
Because 1% is like you're losing 3 or 4 movement speed per level.
Yeah, I think it's not that big, no.
It doesn't matter at all.
One of the big changes actually was Drow and the Visage.
Yes.
The combination between them
Kills that strat.
Because in the finals of the summit, basically we were seeing first pick Visage, and all of a sudden
You had to ban
forced.
You had to ban Drow.
No, you have to pick it.
Oh yeah, you had to
If
pick
you
it.
didn't ban it, you have to
if it
pick
wasn't
it.
banned.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
you're forcing the team into straight away picking Drow, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, we know what they're doing. Like it was huge.
Which is kind of weird because we don't see Drow that much, so it's kind of a shame that it shuts down that hero. But I guess
Toby's
it's
gonna be
the only
really
way.
sad for
He
that
is
one.
going to be that
Well,
sad.
there's still-
Probably why I went to CS:GO because he anticipated this change.
So many shots being fired
It's
already.
ridiculous. Well, they still like
We
him
love you,
to go
Toby.
with Visage. Like,
Yeah.
True. I
it's
mean,
still really powerful.
you still have the effect when you have your aura on. So if you can
But
still
that's
run the
once
strat.
every 25 minutes. The aura. It has a huge cooldown. It's like 3.5 minutes or something, isn't it? It's like
2 minutes, I believe.
2 minutes.
Yeah, it's not. It's like 2 minutes. I don't remember.
It's doable.
I
Like
don't
if
even
you're
play
It's a
planning
long cooldown.
on taking down a tower, it can actually be useful if you know exactly when you're going to have the lane
true.
pushed out, stuff like that. By the way, we have 2 series. What are your expectations in terms of scores? Because it's time to soon get you over to the casting.
I will say first series will be 1-1.
Ninjas and Pyjamas versus Virtus Pro. Yeah.
Yeah, and then second series Vega versus Burden. I actually think Vega will 2-0. I think
Vega.
they're gonna bring their A game.
Oh, I think
Wow.
do you disagree on?
For the first series, I think VP will take it 2-0.
Okay.
I've been not too impressed with NRP's performances recently, but maybe they can change that. And I'm actually going to go the other way. You know, I do like Burden United, so maybe I'm going to say 2-0 to Burden United. I think they can do it
I
against
just left
Vega.
it there because I knew you were saying
Just go.
fanboy. That's the only reason. You're welcome.
Well, both games are going to be really good today.
Yes.
That's for certain. Both games are going to be close games. I'm pretty sure. I don't think anyone's totally outclassed.
Last time you said that, it didn't go through.
It was true.
Don't curse them
So
already.
the games are going to be full-on stomps, 15-minute GGs.
13
Give us some
minutes.
close games, please. So 13 minutes.
Yes.
It's gonna be all-
Well, with that, it's time to say goodbye to you too. You can go on to the caster desk, and for us, it's time to have our weekly guest on the couch. And with us this week, for a full 5 days straight, we have got Heyoka with us. Heyoka, hello.
What up, Matt?
How you doing?
How's it going? Welcome.
That's our question. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I met Odie Pixel for the first time.
Were you a bit starstruck?
Yeah, he was telling me how he's secretly Skrillex on the side. So
You
I
know,
learned all about him.
I
We're
was
best
actually,
friends now, I
I was
think.
talking to him last night, and he's like, the one thing I wanted to do in my life, I wanted people to make people happy and to be like make lots of people happy.
So he went to Dota?
Well, yeah, I think he tried Skrillex, it didn't work out, so he went to Dota.
He has a video on YouTube that has got like millions of views.
He actually does.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
It's like a Zelda dubstep remix.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How many does it have? Like millions?
It actually has.
You gotta
how
buy the
mu-
rights from it.
how
You gotta
many-
get
I think
DreamLeague
it's like
to-
at least over 1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Play it on DreamLeague. It'd be sick.
I think it's like the worst thing I've ever listened to. Like literally.
It was actually. It made me laugh listening to
We listen, it's like 7 minutes long and it's just all torture.
This thing is, the YouTube comments, normally YouTube comments are horrible. They're actually positive.
Yeah, so that's not a good sign. When your
It's like
YouTube
Bizarro World.
Yeah,
Something's
yeah.
wrong there. Yeah.
Yes. For people that don't know you, that are watching, can you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Matt. I run Team Liquid. I run Liquid Dota largely. I have a long history, I guess, in esports, working in StarCraft and then in Dota. And sometimes I do non-Dota things now.
Uh-oh. Don't make that. No, don't make them mad.
I don't know how else to introduce myself.
No, that basically
Is that
I was just
Okay.
that basically is it.
I like esports.
yeah.
What's a life in the day of Matt?
I spend most of my time gossiping on Skype about internet drama. And then,
like everyone else.
and then in between that,
But he makes a living off of it.
yeah, and then in between that, I manage projects for doing features on the website, that kind of thing.
So you've actually been watching a lot of the DreamLeague.
Fair amount.
What's your favorite team or player? Like if you had to pick one?
I guess my favorite team in the tournament, well, it was Alliance. Although more recently, I've decided that I love Vega because they have that like old CIS style where they just like win their lanes and they run around and do stuff. And sometimes it works, and then sometimes Illidan like dives under towers and it doesn't work, and it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
It's really
Pretty
fun to
accurate.
watch that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Though.
Yeah, I mean, CS, Dota. It's like action Dota.
What if they
Right.
pick Bounty Hunter? Do they just instantly win because they're so aggressive?
I think so, yeah. And then my other favorite thing is seeing Octarine Core, which there was one on Naga, 2 weeks ago or whatever, which was the greatest game in DreamLeague, I think.
Okay, so to play against, it's the worst crap in the entire world. Like it
Yeah,
literally,
it's sick. The Illusion's heal, it's awesome.
there's nothing worse. And like, there's just the whole map is just Nagas, and there's like, oh god, right. But to watch, it's actually quite satisfying because it's just like meticulously
It's
just
awesome,
moving
yeah.
each illusion, and then Loda's just kind of chilling. There was no pressure.
There was in that particular game, there was like a period where it was kind of calm and quiet. And normally in that kind of split push scenario, you'll be having like it will just be no fights and just split pushing. But this was actually towards the end of the game. There was actually fights going on and things happening. It was a really fun game to watch, despite the retiness of it all. I mean, everybody likes a bit of retiness sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh God,
It's satisfying.
yeah, shouldn't have said that. I just
Your
realized
Twitter
that.
feed's going to be awesome.
It's amazing. So, to the series today.
Moving on.
Moving on. Actually, before we move on, just make sure that we don't forget it. I'm going to give you this box before we talk about series. That we
Okay.
have a new box. We have not seen this box before.
It's a RT-AC87U wireless AC2400 thingy.
Yes. And now I have
Don't
to
sound
say,
too excited.
I don't know what it is.
as a Dutch person, I would say
a modem.
router. I know people say router.
Who says router?
It's modem, isn't it?
No.
Oh, it's a router.
A modem is
Who
something
says
else
router? I've never
entirely.
heard that.
Router?
People say router
No,
or
they're
router.
wrong.
I say router.
You're wrong.
So I don't know what the right one is, but that's one right there. And you can win it on Thursday if you're lucky and if you're right. If you're right,
You're ruining it. It was
that's,
mid-commission.
Get
we're
right.
taking it out of the box.
I have to display it correctly. It's literally what they pay me for.
So what you're seeing, that's the router, and that's the thing that you can win. You can win it by going to facebook.com/ROG
Incredible
Nordic.
starts here.
Yeah, and there's antennas in the back as well.
Oh, okay.
Because you can have like 4 antennas on it. But you can go to facebook.com/ROG Nordic. There you can put in your most MVP player of this week's league play until Thursday. So it has to be specific for today's games or
2
tomorrow's
gigabytes.
games or Thursday's games. And then at the end of the day on Thursday, it will be Heyoka that decides which player is the MVP
What? I
player.
get power in this? No, you
Yeah,
don't
yes.
get that. Awesome.
MVP player of this week.
I can be
half week.
bought.
He cannot be bought.
With what? Money, ice cream,
I don't know, cookies?
cookies.
It's easy.
What, chocolate
Actually,
chip?
Don't impress
Anything.
me. I don't know.
Swedish cookies.
I'm pretty good at baking.
Do you need one?
Are they good
do you
Swedish
need
cookies?
a router? Router.
Me? No.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
For Ireland?
Oh crap! Is this a good router? Oh yeah. So yeah, I actually am like running a LAN, and I needed a modem. So that'd be great.
Well, the
man.
winner definitely won't be Shane.
The winner itself is actually chosen by ASUS, but the hero, or rather the player that wins, is chosen by Heyoka. So if there's multiple people that have selected the same player, it will still be ASUS that selects it and not Heyoka. So, sorry, Shane.
No, we can just pick a really obscure one.
Yeah, that's- okay.
That you're the only one that has said.
Yeah.
You can scout
Okay,
the
I like
Facebook
this.
comments beforehand. Okay, there's nothing of the sorts going on here. It's all,
No.
it's all good, a good contest.
Completely fair.
So we've got series today. And our series today, our first game is going to be Ninjas in Pyjamas versus Virtus Pro. Two teams that haven't shown that much this patch. Apart from Virtus Pro, I'd say they actually showed pretty good matches. But what do you think about the series? What are you looking forward to seeing most here today for this series?
Well, I watched the games they played last week in Join Dota League, and I was actually kind of surprised that I thought NIP did fairly okay in the laning stage.
Early game with the gyrocopter wisp.
Yeah, so in the first game, they kind of traded evenly, which I thought was surprising, because they had that tri-lane that didn't seem like it was going to go that well. And then in the second game, they were actually winning the lanes for a little while.
Yeah, but they grouped up with there was a fight bottom. I don't know, I
think they dove into the tower,
Yeah,
and they didn't
exactly.
run away when there were TPs or something, and they all died.
It seemed like a lot of miscommunication from Ninjas in Pyjamas, and I think Vega they just pushed off that. There was a time when they just took the tier 1 tower, then the tier 3 or the tier 2 tower, and then the tier 3 tower, in one fell swoop. So
loads of money.
pretty much it was pretty convincing win actually. And
Yeah.
the Winter Wyvern was really, really well played as well. I was expecting it, every time I've seen it in the past, it was just
We've seen it lose here.
Yeah, and it didn't
The
really have
league
impact.
play.
You know what I mean? And in that game, there was really nice heals, defensive uses of the spell.
Yeah.
And also Leshrac was pretty big in that series. Leshrac allowed them, in the first era played it in one of the games, and it didn't really go that well. But Illidan on his Leshrac played amazingly. He would get so many split earths, just perfectly timed ones, and they could push off that so well. So I think actually Leshrac could be a key hero in this series.
Yeah, I think especially after all the games in the Summit, there was a lot of luster there.
Yeah, true.
I hope to see Crystal Maiden, because she is pretty good against creeps. As in, Chen creeps, Enchantress creeps, or creeps with an iron shell on them. We actually saw it.
Who plays CM? I think Lil, maybe?
Lil plays it, and for Mindnuts plays it as well.
Okay, but
Not for NMP, it's I think Hanskin that plays
Hanskin,
it.
yeah.
Yes, there you go. Look at that.
I'd be happier
Yay.
with Hanskin on Chen. I really like his Chen a lot. He rotates very well, and it's probably my favorite hero to see him on. Not
I just
CM
want-
Shiver.
Yeah, I just want to see CM. By the way, with all the healing heroes picked up, heroes that have certain
AA.
heals, AA, exactly what I was going for. We have not seen AA that much lately, but that would be. This is a really weird photo. It looks like he has no arms.
It actually does. Do you think they photoshopped it?
It's so bright. Why is he so bright?
I don't
Is he
know.
standing on the sun?
Maybe.
It actually looks like he has stumps, which is really weird for a competitive Dota player.
Well,
All the more impressive, really.
it really is.
this is
Yeah.
true.
I played Counter-Strike with a guy that had only one hand, and he used to use his wrist to use the keyboard. It was actually really impressive to
That is
watch.
really impressive.
That
yeah.
is impressive.
And there's also a guy that streams Counter-Strike that doesn't have any hands.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Handy, yeah.
Yeah.
He streams himself going outside and smoking too. It's
That was
sick.
weird.
Yeah, he has the thing where he lights
Yeah.
the lighter on the post next to him.
That's pretty impressive. By the way, we're running slightly late, but that is because we're waiting for the last players to join the lobby. And when that's done, we can actually jump ourselves into the game. But before that, I actually have to take a moment because, I just said Thursday is going to be, this week's league play. But Friday and Saturday, guys. Friday and Saturday, there's going to be 5 2-game series both days. It's going to be super weekend. We have an open studio as well. If you want to check out, if you want to come, then you can go to DreamHack.
Website. DreamHack.website.
Haven't you been doing this for 2 months?
We've never used this website.
We've never the DreamHack website. You can fill in your details there. Odie tweeted the website as well, by the way, which everybody retweeted. So if you follow one of us, then you can probably see it there as well. You can not only see us, Yoko will still be here as well as a guest. We will also have Pyrian here, as well as Ape Mother. He'll be back as an analyst as well, and it's going to be just amazing games of Dota. And there is space for an audience. And apparently, you can get a free hot dog and Monster.
And Monster.
Do I get a free hot dog? That sounds
No,
awesome.
you don't.
No, but you get catering.
No, you don't
Is
get
it
that
hot
way.
dogs?
It could be, I
Wait,
guess.
are hot dogs good in Sweden? I've never had one
There's
in
only
Europe.
one way to find out.
Maybe. I haven't had one either.
It's not, well,
I've had Monster. It's pretty good.
you don't eat
Okay.
bread.
No, but you can still eat the dog.
You're right, the actual dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not sure if that counts. I don't know. A hot
Why doesn't
dog is
that
like
count?
These are serious philosophical questions.
They really are.
Yeah.
This is, we tackle the real issues on
Issues.
Dreams.
Yeah.
Is a hot dog without the bread?
I don't think it is.
Find out next week on DreamLeague.
No, because next week there's no next week, guys.
Oh, sorry.
This is our
So you're not going to find out? No. You just put our. This is like an
Cliffhanger for the
existential
next
quandary
season.
now. You've pushed us into a thing that can't be solved.
It's a cliffhanger for the next season.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
okay, yeah.
all like after the season, everyone's gonna be like, "What about the hot dog? What about the
Yeah,
hot dog?
yeah.
You know, build a hype with the hot
It's like
dog."
when The Simpsons ended when Mr. Burns got shot and you had to wait all
Exactly.
summer. Yeah.
That was tough.
The hot dogs is tougher. The question.
Yeah, because the hot
Yeah.
dogs relates to my life directly.
Yes.
You don't know Mr. Burns.
Right. I've never met him.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have met a hot dog.
So we are actually in our first game. Virtus Pro will take on Ninjas in Pyjamas this time for the first game of our